Welcome to a Cincy fan talking with LP. And once again, it's yours truly, LP. Yeah, we're gonna cheer and clap right through the audio issues. Appreciate it, appreciate it, appreciate it. Hey, what's good, everybody? It's LP. Um, hey, I gotta fight through the audio issues. Just picked up the mic and everything to record, and I don't know what happened. Everything just was shot straight to hell. So. One with the backup everything, but like I'm like I gotta get this out. It's been too long, so I appreciate y'all rocking with me through all this. It's LP. Welcome to another episode of a Cincy fan talking with LP. Back at it, back in school, y'all. The dream known as summer vacay is over, and hey, it's weird, but I'm kind of happy to be back at school and. I'm just ready for summer again. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Like I'm really on missing summer, but got the kids back and they missing summer just as much as us. So we're gonna get into that. We're gonna talk about Michigan out here cheating. Like we got a whole lot on tap. But first and foremost, man, I wanna get into all the crazy stuff that's going on in the natty. So if y'all haven't heard by now, it's been some crazy stuff going on in my fair city. Let me go ahead and pull up a chair right quick. Hold on, y'all. Let me get into my zone. Yep. So during Jazz Fest weekend, and it wasn't even really a part of that. It was just a whole lot of people downtown, way too late, doing way too much. Words were had, people got swung on. All of a sudden, the whole nation know where Cincinnati is, and they think it's like a lawless town full of people just out here punching people on sight because of color or whatever. And man, a couple things. Like I'm not gonna speak too much on it, but a couple things. Number one, you can't just go around bashing folks in their face stomping them while they down, sneak punching women. Like, nah, man, that ain't the way. Like, never has been, never will be. You'll never hear me condone that. Full stop. Like, 100% wrong. They need to get locked up for what they did. And if everybody here will tell you the same, like, it's real. That's what should happen. And honestly, that's what is happening. One by one, they got swooped up and they getting locked up. You won't hear anybody, white, black, Hispanic, you won't hear anybody in Cincinnati, Ohio going like, nah, man, it's their fault. They shouldn't be, you're not gonna hear that. For me and mine, here's the real rub. It's two things. Number one, making this political is insane. Now you got people running around talking about, oh, we need to get people down here in Cincinnati because look at what happened. Nah, man, we can't pick up on something that happens and then try to use it for political gain. And I feel like that's what's happening here. What happened was an incident that doesn't speak to who or what Cincinnati is and the strides that we made here in Cincinnati since the riots of 2001. Because we were in a very bad place in 2001. We were in a bad way. We didn't trust the police at all. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like we did not trust the police in 2001. And that's what sparked what happened. And it was a chaotic mess. And neighborhoods that I grew up in were scarred for a long time afterwards. We all had to pick up the pieces and get through that. That's why I kind of make us upset when people slander our name. It's like we dug ourselves out of that hole to a point where We have big acts coming back to Cincinnati again. We have major sport folks, the big threes here now and stuff like that. Like that's happening again. It wasn't happening for a long time. But we had that big stain on our name. So to just see people come through, like see a couple of clips of a few people who don't represent who we are acting wild, like it's not cool. And using that for political gain is not cool. That's number one. And number two, everybody should be disciplined for what happened. The people that started it, the people that reacted in a very uncivilized fashion, because I tell the kids in my class all the time, you can't react just because people saying certain things to you. Like no matter what they say, if you punch them, you're going to jail. Like words can't allow you to harm people. Self-defense is different, but it's really hard to claim self-defense from what you're seeing there. I mean, I saw a lot of video. I didn't see a whole lot of self-defense going on. So, I mean, to put a real cap on it, like our city is not what you saw in those clips. And that's the part I want to stress more than anything. Because I'm not about to sit up here and defend the people that did all that, because that's crazy. And at the same time, I'm not about to sit up here and act like Cincinnati is a lawless town because it's not. A lot of the violent crime metrics are down here. Some are up, most are down here in Cincinnati. I'm not saying Cincinnati is like the safest place to be in the world because it's not. We have our spots where you really don't want to be at night, just like any other city. But we've come a very long way. And that's the part that makes people upset. And I just kind of want to stand on that. I'm not about to stand on, hey, he punched him because and she punched him because. Nah, man, they're wrong. But that's not our city. That's not who we are. So don't let a couple of clips that you see paint our city for what we're not. That's really what I'm saying here. It was an ugly incident, it really was. And I hope we do better. And I hope politicians see that instead of seeing this as an opportunity to kind of hop on the main stage and get their name out there using other people's agenda and things like that. That's what I don't want to see. So we're in week 2 of our school year. Um, just getting back in the swing of things has been a little bit difficult for your boy. It's it's not necessarily difficult, but more like here we go, the long grind. It's kind of like a baseball season. You have the first day of school, that's kind of like the opening day, and everybody's hyped. Everybody has a clean slate. Everybody has the opportunity to be great, stuff like that. But as the season wears on, the cream kind of rises to the top, and then the folks who don't want to do the right thing kind of slip down. We're not to that point yet. We're still in that honeymoon period where everybody's trying to put on a brave face and, do their job. But listen to the episodes around mid-September, mid-October, and you'll have a different tone. You'll hear me talking about different folks that are really upset about being there. My first years that are like, this ain't for me. Some of my other first years, it's like, man, this is great. Few and far between. But so far, I'm excited for my classes. Um, excited for like the leadership roles I'm taking in the school because I'm really trying to do my leadership thing. Like I told y'all before, I'm not touching principal, vice principal. I'm not doing any of that. I've had my runs with that. I've had my trials. I'm good. It's way too much. Man, I did a 3-day vice principal thing, We had people that were out of the building. They're like, hey, Mr. P, you want to go ahead and take over, be VP for a few days until the VP gets back? I'm like, sure, why not? The most chaotic 3 days ever. I'm running from room to room like a chicken with my head cut off. I'm sitting in the back of classrooms for teachers that's having problem classes. I had to go to somebody's home and pick up a uniform from their parent and then bring it back to that kid because that kid came out of uniform and the parent couldn't get to us. I'm like, dude, when do you eat lunch? I found out that answer the hard way while I'm eating lunch, walking with 4 or 5 kids who got in trouble. I'm like, dude, this y'all day? And I'm talking to the VP because they're in DC, and they're like, "Nah, that's not the full day. You got it easy." Usually, I'm arguing with a parent because they baby got in trouble, or I'm usually doing something like that. I'm like, "Nah, this for the birds. You got to get back." So that leadership will not get filled for me. I'm good, but I'm loving the kind of roles that I'm taking. Helping folks with their math progress and helping teachers just kind of guiding them to where they need to be, along with, doing my teaching duties. I really like that part, like being hands-on and helping teachers and kind of giving them the game because I was lucky enough to have 3 or 4 teachers in my first building really help me out and go like, look, LP, this is what you don't want to do. Like, this is what you want to do. This is what you don't want to do. But you're gonna kind of find your own way. I really got lucky and had some great mentors, and still do have those same mentors. So I just want to be that for somebody. So I'm excited to do that. Hey, some of these kids are nuts. We'll get into some of the stories next week. I gotta make sure I maintain the confidences that oh my God. Yeah, like I just laugh all day long at these kids and the stuff that they say and the stuff that they do. I find it hilarious. And I have other teachers like, oh my goodness, what's going on in your class? I'm like, we laughing right now. Somebody said something dumb and I can't let it go. So we gonna jump into that next week. But so far, so good for me. The first 6 days of school. So, hey, Michigan cheated. Now, you remember we had these discussions before, and I told you I was pretty much over that because my Buckeyes won the shit. I'm still on that. Like, this doesn't bother me as much as it did before. But the teacher in me is like, dude, they really just got off with this? Like a $30 million fine to you and me. That's the end of our world. We working that out for the rest of our days. For a school like Michigan, a couple of donors have kicked that down, and it's all gravy train. It's nothing. There's no bowl ban. There's no postseason ban. The people that got like banned for 14 years or 8 years, they weren't coming back to Michigan to coach anyway. And if you think I got sour grapes, it's not what you think. It's more like they committed the perfect crime, and I'm a little salty if they committed the perfect crime. What they did and got away with. And if you read the report from the NCAA, you'll see clearly that this isn't me just going like, I'm saying this because I hate Michigan. No, I was honest with this whole thing in the first place. I don't think they gained that much of an advantage. They gained some of an advantage. I mean, if you know where the play is going, then great googly moogly, you can stop it. However, when they won the title, they did their thing. And the way they beat us last year, I can't really sit up here and have sour grapes like, oh man, y'all cheated the last 3 years. We should have won last year. So that's where I'm at with that. But what they did was like, if I send a kid out of my class because they just going ape crap, they throwing cookies at people, they cheating off people's tests, and they just going ape. And I've tried everything. I'm like, get out, go to the principal. We've had enough of you. I don't want to see you here today. I don't want to see you here tomorrow. You gotta kick rocks, kid. They get out. They come back 20 minutes later with 2 cans of pop. Yeah, we say pop in Cincinnati. We don't say soda, by the way. We don't do the soda thing. We say pop. Just so you know. They come down with two cans of pop and three lollipops and a bag of Grippos chips and a big smile on their face. And they're like, "Hey, we got all this from the principal." And then they just sit right down in your class. That's what Michigan just did. That's what happened. All the stuff that they did, and for the report to literally say in the report, if we were still doing our regular administration functions, we would have at least suspended them from bowl season for the next 2 or 3 years. It literally says that. And they said the only reason they didn't suspend them from bowls for the next 2 or 3 years is because they don't want to punish the players that are currently playing for stuff that happened in the previous coaching administration. And I get that. But consistently, teams were punished that way. Consistently, including Ohio State. They got punished for that because kids decided to sell memorabilia or something like that. Something that was dumb. Something that really probably didn't warrant a suspension, but it was against the rules. So we were like, oh, damn, it's against the rules. They they got one over. For them to win a title and to get the punishment that they got, I'm sure any fan of Michigan will take that. And you just kind of look like, dang, they really cheated. Now, me personally, I'm a big believer in natural consequences. In my classroom, my my classroom management strategy is natural consequences. A kid tries to cheat on a test, boom, you get an F. You're not just gonna rate me up? Nah, you good. You can take this F though. Dang, I can't retake it. Nah. The natural consequence is if you cheat on the test, you get an F. Simple. And then the kids are salty. They're like, dang. Usually they just write me up and get it over with. No, buddy. Natural consequences are awesome. So I feel like the natural consequence for Michigan kind of sort of hurts even more because everybody's going to kind of look at the last 3 or 4 years with a big asterisk. And that would mess me up as a fan. Now, on the outside, I'll be like, I don't care what you say. We won, yeah, yeah, whatever. But on the inside, I'll be like, dang. Would they really have won had they not done this? And I feel like that'll mess with a lot of Michigan men and women's heads. I kind of think it would. It would mess with mine. So, yeah, Michigan cheated. Michigan got that off. I can't really complain about it because we keep losing to Michigan anyway. So I'm not really complaining about the cheating part. You won't hear me say stuff like, "Yeah, if y'all wouldn't have cheated, we'd have won." I don't know, man. We should have won last year, so I can't really say that. What I can say is it's just not a good look. It's not. Yeah. Um, Keeping it on the football motif, man, I hate the NFL preseason. I hate it with a passion. Like, I barely watch. I watch the Bengals game until they pull Burrow out and all of the starters. And then I'm turning. I hate the preseason. And mainly because of two things. Number one, do y'all know they charge full price for preseason games? True story. True story. I have a lot of kids that say, yeah, yeah, Mr. P, we always go to the preseason games because we can get the tickets for free. I'm like, how? People just give them away. And I was like, oh, I had somebody tell me that the preseason package is part of the season ticket package. Hey, hit me up if you know if that's true or not. But that's pretty much what I heard. So they're selling the preseason tickets at full face value to watch people that aren't going to be playing professional football in a couple weeks. That's diabolical, man. That would be like, I don't even know what that's like. What? I don't know. Like, I can't even, I guess that would be like me going to Save a Lot or something and paying Kroger prices. Like, it's an inferior product. I mean, shout out to Save a Lot, I guess, but I'm still scarred from the Save a Lot life when we were down bad living in Columbus, and we had to go shopping at Save a Lot like it was Kroger, and we had to play Truth or Dare trying to eat the hamburger meat, like sniff it. Is it good? It was only 3.29 for like two pounds. You sure this straight? I don't know. But we don't have much money, so we gotta roll the dice. Smell it again. And like we was really on that. Like it was a hard knock life when you in college trying to scrimp and scrape for that money. That's what this is like, I guess. Oh, how can they do that? I hate the preseason. That's the first reason. And the second reason is you got these players risking life and limb to try to make the football team or get in shape. And so many people get hurt in the preseason for the entire year. I think Rashawn Slater from the Chargers, really good offensive lineman, he's out for the year. And there's a few big names, and it happens every year, man. It's sickening. Like even for teams I hate. I just hate your uniform. Like, even Michigan people, like, I don't hate the person in the uniform. I just hate the uniform. I'm not trying to see people get hurt, but it happens every single year. This is the only part I really agree because I don't really like them playing more football games because it's just easier to get hurt. And then they have them playing like on Sunday and then a Thursday after that. It's insane. But if they cut off the preseason games and made them like regular season games, I think that's best for everybody involved. Why even risk all of this? The preseason games aren't even when players make the team. You're making the team in practice when the coach sees you every single day. That's how you're making the team. Rarely do people make the team off a game because you're like third stringers playing third stringers. I mean, it's just wild to me. Smack the NFL preseason out of here for so many reasons. I just hate it. And now I get to talk about how old I feel. I I was watching Friday for like, I don't know, the 17th billionth time, and I realized it's 2025. Friday came out in 1995. So if I'm doing the math, 550, that's 30 years. Friday came out 30 years ago. It's so crazy to me. I remember us being like juniors in the summertime and running around school quoting Friday, and it was like awesome. Kids still do that. And it was out 30 years ago. I had kids come up to me like, yeah, I bet you never heard about Friday. I just look at them like, are you serious right now? Like, we went to see that in the movie theater. Scratch that. I saw that on bootleg about 2 weeks before everybody else. I had a bootleg that was so bootleggish that there was no music in the bootleg. All you heard was narration, and you just heard the actors. When the actors are like talking to each other and you can't hear them on the real movie because of the music, the music overlays, there is no music on the bootleg that I had. But you could hear every word that everybody was saying. Even the stuff you really weren't supposed to hear because it's supposed to have music over it. When they're driving by in cars, there's no music. That's how bootleg-ish my bootleg was. I think it might have said property of New Line Cinema on the top. Real illegal stuff, Black Busters is what we used to call it, like at the barber shop. Let's go to Black Busters. I'm kind of telling on myself, but let's go to Black Busters and see Friday. How much they selling it for? 20. I'll take two. Like that's how old I am, man. It's absolutely insane. Um, feel like I could recite Friday from memory from the beginning to end. Definitely not about to do that here. I feel like I could do that. That's how many times I've seen Friday. Um, and I think I saw it on BET, and BET is just disgusting with what's happening right now. They just took away the Hip Hop Awards and the Soul Train Awards. And I'm like, wow. I don't even like award shows. If you follow me on old Twitter, new X, or whatever it is, you know my disdain for award shows. Usually I'm watching the award shows because I've watched football all day long. And then it's wifey's turn to just watch what she want to watch, and I have to watch it because I made her watch football for like 10 straight hours. So I can't just be like, I don't want to see this and walk away. No, I gotta bite the bullet, tit for tat. But what do I say in the office? Tit for tit. So I gotta sit there and watch it. I hate award shows. When Will Smith smacked Chris Rock, that kind of livened it up for me a little bit because I thought it was gonna be fisticuffs, but that's another story. But I used to like the hip hop awards because it was like the essence of hip hop for somebody like me. The first hip hop award show, we got to see Black Thought and Eminem in a cypher, and it was great. And it just kind of like declined after that to the point where we didn't even see them give away awards in the last show. Real talk, they didn't even give away awards. We just saw Fat Joe say who won the award, and then they went to another performance. They didn't have anybody rapping. There were no ciphers, and that's like the essence of rap, y'all. That's what it is. You know how many times like me and the fellas just waited to the end of the song when the beat just played on its own and we just freestyle to the beat. And it was trash. Every now and again, we got like a good line off, but that was rap to us, like just kind of spitting out the top, or you saying something that you memorized 4 or 5 thousand times so you could say it in front of a group. That was hip hop. That's rap. And then you fast forward to them just doing like 15 different performances with nobody rapping in between, no awards given out. So I wasn't really upset to see them take it away. It was more like, y'all made it so trash and then you took it away. I don't know. I don't really know what's next with BET. I mean, I remember BET, not from 11 p.m. to like 8 a.m. because it was all like gospel and infomercials back in the day, and that's all you saw. But back in the day, like BET was really speaking to us. They were showing stuff like Teen Summit, where we got to see kids like us talking about major issues. And sometimes they have like artists there talking with you. You got to see actual videos, stuff like that. You got, I mean, it really felt like entertainment television for folks like me. And it's just not that anymore. They show Baby Boy like 15,000 times. They show like every single Tyler Perry movie in the universe. It just doesn't feel like a channel that's representative of Black people. I mean, BET had their own news where they discussed current events of the day, not just musical, but stuff that affected everybody. They showed that at 11 o'clock p.m. I mean, that was stuff that was actually happening. And it felt like it just devolved. Um, and the de-evolution happened a long time ago. I'm not gonna lie. There's no way they should have been showing stuff like BET Uncut, where they're showing like NC-17 rated videos and stuff like that. Never should have happened. I felt like that kind of sped up the degradation of BET. It'll be interesting to see what happens next with it, but I'm not sure I'm going to be around to see it because I don't think I'll be watching it. We don't really watch a lot of BT anymore in the house, not for real. And plus, you got places like MTV and MTV2 and VH1. They show a lot of content. Like they show a lot of sitcom content that revolves around us, which is weird because you would think that MTV would be showing video. Long story. Let me hop off that train. Before we ride out, um, I saw a short on YouTube that made me go down a horrible rabbit hole. Oh my God. I saw a Jerry Springer short and it made me watch like 4 or 5 straight Jerry Springer episodes. It was like the beginning of trash television. And I feel like all of the other trash television shows, like, Flavor of Love and maybe Love and Hip Hop, or, all of those type of shows, I feel like they all spawned from shows like Jerry Springer and all those talk shows in the 90s. I'm not gonna lie to you. Freshman year, me and the fellas, we would record Jerry Springer, go to class, do our whole thing, get back to the dorms around like 4 or 5 o'clock, and there would be like a group of 10 or 11 of us in our room, guys and girls alike, watching the Jerry Springer episode that came out. Seriously, like it was really like that, and it was always so scandalous. There was always a fight, Jerry, Jerry, and Jerry Springer being from the soil just kind of topped it off for all of us. Like Jerry Springer, rest in peace to Jerry Springer. He was the mayor of Cincinnati. He was like anchoring stuff in Cincinnati, and it was a sight. And I don't know, man. It's just that it kind of takes you. How do you put this? It makes you see that everybody has a voice. And I used to think that anybody would just do anything to get on television, and I still do kind of feel like that. But like with the Jerry Springer show and all of those sitcoms, all of those talk shows back then, Ricky Lake and Richard Bay and all of those, it was more like I found out everybody has a story. And people just want to get their story told. People just want to be heard. And sometimes they do it in ways that's like, and you see it today. You see it on YouTube, you see it on TikTok. People just kind of want you to know that they're here. And maybe they get 15 minutes of fame out of it, maybe they don't. But people just want you to know, like, I'm here. This is how I'm living. This is my life. And you can kind of take it for what it is. And Jerry Springer did a really good job of like, it seemed like he was making fun of him, but he really wasn't. He gave people a stage to be themselves. And the people that were on there, they never really got that. They never really got a stage to just be their true selves. Jerry Springer provided that. He got compensated very well, and he threw out free trips. But everybody has a story to tell. I think that's what those shows taught me more than anything. And that's what makes what's happening now not so surprising to me. You see the wild stuff happening on TikTok and YouTube and stuff like that. It's not really wild when you consider people just want to get themselves out there. All publicity is good publicity as far as most people are concerned. So when you see people just doing wild things, I think that's why everybody wants to be on the stage in some way, shape, or form. A lot of us want to do it in positive ways. So you don't see us doing all the wild stuff, but some people just don't care. And I think that's what that era was about. You had a lot of people who found a voice and they found a medium to get that voice out. So when I'm watching stuff like that, I'm kind of always thinking that. So that's what Jerry Springer meant to me. And that's kind of why I went down a rabbit hole and watched like 4 straight hours of it. If somebody told me they wanted to take me on Jerry Springer, I, you would think some antennas would go up. I mean, you would think somebody would be like, "Whoa, what you got going on? Can we talk about this first?" No, you hear about it when we get there. Okay, cool. When we get you something. Wow. And we are out. We gotta roll out because I got more trash TV to watch. Nah, really, I gotta make sure I got this lesson plan tight for tomorrow. Notice I didn't say like the entire lesson plan because there's no school on Monday, and that's what Monday's for. This whole work-life balance is really cool when there's no Monday to have to worry about. I'm telling you, working Mondays. I don't know if I can do it again, y'all. I'm definitely spoiled. Hey, it's time to roll out. Cue the music. Hey, as always, y'all, you know where y'all can find me. Y'all can find me on X. Y'all can find me on Blue Sky. Hey, Cincy fan talking. Leave off the G. And as always, life is good, y'all. See y'all next week.